Now, Steven did do a little sneak peeky of our beautiful Ramstrider here, but ooh, this is such a beautiful piece. Jinsey is one of our artists, and she does it all. She does it from like like not even concept, but like just creating it out of her crazy mind, which I love, her beautiful crazy mind, and then all the way to like animating the piece and getting it in game in that regard. So it is just amazing to see it. So I don't know if you want to talk a little about this little bad boy, but I'll show off the different angles of it.
The Ramstrider is again like a tamed mount, effectively. These guys are things that you're going to find in the wild, also raised by people who raise such animals, and they're going to be a fun, cool-looking mount for folks.
Yeah, whenever I see that guy,
Steven.
that's what I think of him whenever I see him.
That's what you were doing. I was wondering what you were doing on your phone. I was like,
That's a big mount. I love it. Oh, he is thick though. But no, Jinsey does it. Jinsey does a great job, obviously, with these mounts, and you know, this is just kind of another example of really the vast array of possibilities that come with the mount systems. I mean, mounts are such a cherished and beloved aspect of MMORPGs, at least everyone I've ever played, and it's really cool to have a very in-depth system, I think, to facilitate really complex and unique aspects to what players can acquire, to what they can collect, and that's obviously a huge portion of what many of us as players drive for in MMOs.
And we also just want to make sure that, you know, this feels like a fantasy world. This doesn't feel like Earth. There's some things that are familiar, but then there's other things that just are out of this world. And that's kind of where we get to play a lot in fantasy worlds. And we want to make sure that we don't kind of fall into these sort of staid kind of traditional expectations. We want to be able to change it up every once in a while. And this is one of those places.
Yeah.
If you just had like a full body like pillow plush of this creature that just was like in your bed with you, that would be just
I don't know about the horns.
Would you get a buff?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I was talking about in real life, Jeff. I don't know if you get
But I do think that this is amazing. And obviously, you know, we have a lot of mounts that we've been showing off, and we'll have many more that are attainable in game too. So don't worry about that. So with that, we also have saddles that we have created, and these are other pieces that you can put on your mounts. So I don't know if you want to kind of talk a little bit about that. Obviously, this is one of the pieces that some of you have probably seen before, but there's going to be many other saddles and barding that you're going to see coming in as well.
Yeah, mount equipment is obviously very important, as is battle gear for pets. You know, these are gear chases for your pets, and your pets are an extension of you, really. So, you know, being able to kit them out with good gear is something that players strive to attain. And this is an example of kind of how those gears are partitioned on the mount itself. This is obviously a saddle that, in my opinion, looks very good, and I would love to have that on my horse.
It's Bayloon style, right?
So there are questions in regards to saddles, I think so. And if saddles will provide any extra benefit to people. Obviously, this is a cosmetic one, so this would not give you a benefit. It would just be a cosmetic you would put over the saddle that you currently have.
Right. So you would have to attain the saddle item itself, and then you can apply the cosmetic to that item. So again, you know, we don't actually provide through the cosmetic power. Right. Exactly. Now, all gear has stat modifiers, so they adjust the stat of the mount and or pet, and then additionally, some gear based on its rarity will add additional effects. That could be a base increase of speed for a particular piece of set, or could be damage mitigation for the saddle and or body armor. You know, those types of things are going to be present on more legendary gear and equipment.
It's funny, people are like, look at my horse is amazing. Cool. Yeah, I think that answers that. I don't know if there was any other one that I saw in chat, but moving on from there, we're going to move into some armor pieces. And I know, Jeff, you kind of want to talk a little bit about armor on males versus females as well. As you saw in the mount video, you could see that Violet, Light, and Jeffrey were both wearing the same armor, but there was like a little bit of differences between their armor as well.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point out, like, if you take a look at that video again, Violet, Light, and myself are wearing exactly the same armor set, right? Same stats, same everything. But it drops for her, it looks one way, it drops for me, it looks another way. And a big part of that is a small part of that is gender, but then the other part of it is race. So because I was a Valoon in that playthrough, my armor was in the Valoon style. And when she picked it up, it was in the elven style because she was an elf. So that kind of gives you an example of sort of the breadth of looks that we're going for, and how we kind of try to capture like who you are as a character, and kind of allow you to kind of build your look that way. So
right. And a lot of games have kind of taken that direction. As a matter of fact, the inspiration for that particular approach came from my experiences with Lineage 2. I really enjoyed how they kind of had subtle differences between different races and genders wearing the same thematic set. And you would see obviously a crossover with the theme, whether that be, the materials and or textures and the color palettes, like that would maintain across races and genders. But there would be essentially a different representation of that armor. So that's a similar approach that we're taking with regards to the armor sets in Ashes of Creation. It's that you're going to have one set that can be traded, can be sold, can be crafted, and then as that set is equipped by different races and or genders, it's going to have subtle differences between them.
It's always exciting for me when I hear you talk about games that I've worked on too, and I'm like, oh, Lineage 2.
Yeah.
It's exciting anyway, no matter who's talking about it. But it's, to me, whenever Steven does, I'm like, aw. So this is the Dwarven set that we have, and it's very cool looking. I think Steven also might have leaked this to some folks on the Discord as well. I'm not sure if it was everybody, but
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
I have bruises from last week.
No, stop it.
There are places you can't see.
Another thing that was leaked. So we have the Empyrean cloth armor that you can see here. The back and the front, so I'll kind of go through that again.
Yeah, and this kind of gives you also an understanding of some capes. I know that some people saw a little bit of a representation of capes in Apocalypse, but here you can see kind of the diversity that we're going to have among the capes. You're going to have one shoulder capes, you're going to have full body capes, you're going to have cloaks and whatnot, and these are all kind of encompassing the back slot item. You can also choose, even if you have it equipped, because they will have stats, you can choose not to have them visible if you wish to have a different back slot kind of presented, whether that be a shield or a weapon. That's going to be something left to the players.
All right, and then moving into this is the female one, I believe. You can kind of see it, the textures.
Yeah.
And then I will show you all the male version here. And they're in a T-pose because that's like.
We need to tighten up that waist a little bit. That's a big costume. I haven't had an opportunity to review these, but these look good. I love them.
Yeah, they're all work in progress, and they did send everything to me as work in progress. So keep in mind,
Nice.
This is a development update stream. This is all work in progress. None of this is final. As we've said a couple times already throughout the stream, even when we were in the mount video as well. And then with that, here's another render. This is Valoon instead of Empyrean, whereas the other one was Empyrean. So we showed you Empyrean and Valoon now. And
Yeah, I love this.
yeah, I love the like gold like panel plating. It's very interesting. And then we've got some Kalar faces. This is the male work in progress faces that are being worked on. Obviously these are work in progress. But you've seen, I think there's been a lot of commentary about like our models, and I know that they're working through all the models and kind of giving them all updates. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's as you're creating the game, the size of Ashes of Creation, an MMORPG in and of itself is one of the largest projects you can do in gaming. But Ashes of Creation, I think, takes it to the next level because we have a lot of ambition in our systems and features that we want to provide the players. So, here you're seeing as we continue development, these base models for the different races will continue to get refined further. And as we eventually get to the character creator stage, where you're going to see a lot of customization and flexibility in the deformations that are available, both from a character facial perspective as well as the overall body perspective, our goal is to aim for the stars in what is possible on the character creator front. And that requires a lot of custom work on essentially setting setting the parameters of the extreme sides of the spectrum on where players can deform targets on their character that they're utilizing through the character creator. So this is just continual work moving forward on these base body models to facilitate the goals we have with the character creator itself.
And this one is specifically Kalar if folks are interested in the race. And with that, that is...
I see that somebody said that I like the bald Asmongold look.
Yeah. People are like, we like bald. We like the bald. Everyone in chat, I saw that quite a few times.
Is Asmongold that bald? I don't think so. I haven't seen his stream in a while, but...
You guys are funny.